'Tis I, Marinara Man. 'Tis I. Hey everyone, glad to see you back. Glad to see you looking fresh. Glad to see Nintendo Direct's back. Glad to see Nintendo Directs be looking fresh. Because boy howdy, it's been a heck of a long time since we've seen one of these bad boys. And I'm not talking, specific directs for specific game series like Pokemon's had its own, and there's been some partner directs and mini directs. I'm talking the big boys. I'm talking a full-blown half an hour plus. This is what we're doing for a little bit. This is all my day is wrapped around is this kind of thing, kind of direct, There wasn't too many crazy announcements, which bodes well in my opinion. I like to be able to look on the bright side of these situations. That's not to say that there was no big announcements, because there were. There were some pretty cool announcements when it comes to the whole idea of, there wasn't too many big killers. We didn't see the big holiday title. That tells me, anyways, that there is more directs coming, which is always a good thing, especially because, E3 is 4 months away, but I say right around the corner because 3 days ago it was March of last year, and now here we are. I want to start off with what they started off with was a new Smash character. We got Mythra, we got Pyra from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. When the event started, it looked a lot like it was just a Xenoblade 2 sequel, which I was very intrigued by. I was very interested, this is going to be called Xenoblade 2 2. I still think it was very well done in the style of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, enough so that it even made me question whether or not that this was a Smash reveal or not. And it was, and we got Mythra and Pyra together, not two separate characters, not one being a clone, but the same way that Sheik and Zelda used to work. I think this is a very cool idea for the character. I think this is a very cool concept. I really like how they're implementing them from their own games. I think leaving Rex out of the equation was smart because it brings more female representation. It allows for crazier movesets. I think including him would have been overly complicated. It would have turned into another Rosalina Luma or Ice Climbers kind of situation where one takes the lead and the other one follows. I don't think that really works for this type of game. I think just having them break free and being their own characters is really smart. But that just leaves two more characters for what is this Fighter Pass and could potentially be the last two characters in Smash Ultimate. We haven't had the big Sakurai showcase yet. And that's typically where we'll get the announcement of a new Fighters Pass. I'm not saying that there'll be a Fighters Pass 3, but I'm saying that there's potential to, because I'm sure these are still selling like crazy. Mario Golf is looking good. And I'll tell you, I've not really been into Mario Golf before, but after playing Golf Story, which was a Switch exclusive, which had RPG elements, this looks like it's copying it a little bit, but that's okay, because I'm waiting for that sports story. Take your time, guys. I'm not rushing you or anything, but I'm excited to play Sports Story more than most people, I think. I cannot wait to play that game. But biding my time with a good Mario Golf game with RPG elements, with a story mode and all that, it'll scratch that itch. There are a lot of smaller announcements during this thing where they didn't really feel like they needed to be here. I think it was more padding time. But honestly, because it's a direct, I had a lot of fun seeing a bunch of smaller games get announced and different things coming and ports happening and all that. I'm fine with it. I'm always cool with a direct being longer than shorter, even if there's some padding in it. I think people complain more because it takes time away from bigger announcements, but if they weren't going to be there anyway, it's not like these are taking place instead of the bigger announcements. It's just more announcements. All right, now that we're done that tangent. One of the games that I was not expecting at all was another game from the development team behind Octopath Traveler. They're making another game in that same kind of art style. I think they called it the 2D HD series, which is very clever. It's very clever. It's a very Fire Emblem looking game, which gets me extremely excited. Because honestly, when it was first showing, and it still like the art and stuff, I was like, is this a Fire Emblem game? And then like the gameplay and everything, I'm like, this seems very Fire Emblem inspired. Like how the first game felt very, original turn-based RPG inspired, your stuff like your Final Fantasies and all that. This feels extremely Fire Emblem inspired, and it's a great thing because I love Fire Emblem. I look forward to seeing what this team does with it. Another cool thing that they showed off was No More Heroes 3. New trailer. It looks crazier than even I expected it to be. It gave us a release date, which is in the summer. Excited to play that. Excited to give that a go. And then there was two more big announcements that I want to talk about. Zelda, producer, showed up. And I was like, oh crap, we're going to see it. We're going to see Breath of the Wild 2. And Even he was like, I know you guys are expecting this, but I'm sorry we don't have it ready yet. And honestly, I felt that was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool to have him just straight up be like, I know you guys want it, but this is not here yet. But instead, enjoy this. And it was Skyward Sword HD, which looks, you know, I love the game. I think it's aged better than some Zeldas. However, I think it had the same problem where Twilight Princess HD did when it showed off. I'm like, that looks exactly how I remember it and not HD. But I'm sure it is. I'm sure once we get the comparison videos and the comparison photos, we'll really see the difference in the two. And then a couple smaller things I wanted to mention right before we get into the big finale. Apparently for Mario's 35th, we're getting Mario-themed items in Animal Crossing, which took long enough. I don't know why they weren't there from the beginning. I think the Warp Pipe is really cool. Don't get me wrong. But I do not get why there wasn't Nintendo items in that game from the get-go, like every Animal Crossing game. But they're here now. I'm not going to complain that they're here. There was a lot of stuff coming to the Switch that I feel like some of them I thought were there already, like Fall Guys and Tales from the Borderland and In the Outer Wilds and Apex Legends that I just thought were already on the Switch. They're not, so they're coming. Cool. I guess you haven't played them. You can play them here. There's a new remake of Legend of Mana, but I think it's cool. It's always kind of neat. There was a lot of like HD remakes of older games in this one, which I thought were interesting at least. But then the show ended with Splatoon 3, which I haven't played Splatoon yet. I think that it's a series I would enjoy if it had a single player mode, and I know that 2 got the Octopath expansion. I want a single player game with a multiplayer component. That's how I've always done it. I've never really been super excited about multiplayer only games, and I know if that's your thing, I'm not here to yuck your yum or anything, but I think that Splatoon would really do well if it had a single player component foremost and then multiplayer after, especially because the multiplayer is made and ready and people love it already, so I don't think it needs to be messed with too much. Obviously, a little tweaks here and there. More game modes is always a good thing. Obviously, like I said, there wasn't any killer announcements. I think, like I said, Mario Golf and the new game from the Octopath Traveler team. That was it. It was cool. I'm so glad to see Directs back. Like I said, I've been looking forward to this all day. Just checking the clock till 5 p.m. hit, and it hit, and it was great. Even though the announcements weren't killer, it still was so much fun to watch. If I missed your favorite announcement during the rec, please let me know down below. I will happily talk to you about it down there. Start a conversation. Maybe your favorite announcement was, just Fall Guys is coming. I don't know you. I don't know what you're about. And as always, if you like this, make sure you like this, and I will see you at some point.
Marinara man. Marinara man.